want you to explain what has happened. I'd like to keep it friendly. The very simple reason for that is it's good now that the battle is lost, and I speak as a loser. The battle is lost. The peace is something that we should all be working to increase. I know it's going to be impossible politically to achieve that until the liars and cheats admit that they lied and cheated, but that day is getting ever closer. It got quite close yesterday with the astonishing U-turn from claiming that the withdrawal agreement will get Brexit done to claiming that we have to break the withdrawal agreement to get Brexit done. That, for me, would be the moment at which I sort of thought, yeah, okay, I hope I kept the receipt because I'm taking this back to the shop. That would be the moment where, I don't know if you saw Ed Miliband inviting Boris Johnson to stand up and explain precisely where in the withdrawal agreement this prospect of, quotes, blockade would be found. And Johnson stayed on his seat. I don't know whether or not in the rubric of parliamentary exchanges he would actually have been able to stand up and intervene. But if he felt that he had the facts to hand, I think we could be fairly sure they would have appeared at some point in proceedings. I'll play you a clip of that shortly, because it was, just for fans of oratory, it was a magnificent moment in the House of Commons, regardless of your politics, just objectively to see Ed Miliband, a man who was so maligned by the right-wing media. Do you remember when the Daily Mail went after his dead dad? An astonishing blow, really, even in the context of post-Brexit politics. But he was on fire yesterday, and he invited Boris Johnson to essentially justify his bogus claims about a blockade. And Boris Johnson can't. He instead has whipped the Conservative Party to vote to break the withdrawal agreement with which he won the last general election. And I am... what's the word I want? I used words like baffled and befuddled yesterday, and I used them honestly, but they don't describe where I am today. It's different from that. It's more like I'm confounded, actually. There's a frustration attached to this, because we can't go back to the emperor's new clothes. But if you needed evidence that something was awry, that's all, okay? I've used the words cheats and lies. I won't use them again. Let's just go for something's a bit awry. Something's a bit wrong. If a government in January can say that this piece of legislation is brilliant and it will get Brexit done, and then in September say about, and this for me is the point, precisely the same piece of legislation. This is, what's the word I want? Is there a German word to describe this? That you're describing something, and even as you describe it, you can't quite believe what you're describing, but you know that it's true. Cassandra Freuder. So, in January, this specific piece of legislation was brilliant and it would get Brexit done. This right here, this piece of legislation right here, it's in front of me, right here, withdrawal agreement. In September, on September the 14th indeed, this identical self-same piece of legislation, this identical agreement is absolutely awful and we have to break it in order to get Brexit done. Now, I am fairly confident that that is a statement of fact. I don't think I've issued an opinion in the last 3 sentences. In January, this piece of legislation was absolutely brilliant. It's what they won the election with, and it will get Brexit done. In September, exactly the same piece of legislation, exactly the same agreement, is absolutely awful, and we have to vote to breach it and break international law in order to get Brexit done. Riddle me that.